Thanks. Hi, Daniel. You've had 24 hours to assess the state of your squad. We know you're still without Junior Firpo, final match suspension, but is there every chance that you could name the same starting 11 on Wednesday night against Luton?
Yeah, seems to be like there are no new injuries, at least obviously after a game like always. A few knocks and hits, but no new injuries. So all the players who are with us seem to be also available for Wednesday. And for that, obviously, a quick turnaround. Also, the week in general, 3 games within 6 days. I mentioned before, so during such a week, sometimes you have to rotate a bit more than you perhaps normally would do. So there could be also a few changes. But one thing is for sure, we won't rotate on 11 positions. So it's never healthy for a team if you have too many changes. But good news, no new injuries.
Your wingers are in really good form at the moment. You know, Manor Solomon's come back, scored a couple of goals. How well was he lasting in the game, do you feel? I know he got a second goal, but is he up to 90 minutes yet, do you feel, or is he still a little bit away from being at his peak?
No, I think the last weeks were beneficial for us. Also, like after his injury, he had his first start in the starting lineup after a bit longer substitute than in the QPR game that we won at home. He was there with a solid, probably his best performance after the injury. And then he had 2 times 90 minutes, also for his country against France, against Belgium, also proper opponents, really good performances. And yesterday just over 70 minutes, really probably his best performance also in the shirt, and at least the most effective of performance, good for his mood with the 2 goals. Obviously, the winger positions, it's quite important to have an eye on them in such a busy period because you have lots of high speed running and many sprints. So it's not likely that a winger will play all 3 games over 90 minutes. So for that, we try to share the minutes also a little bit and have to pay attention what is necessary and which winger looks also ready to go and also a bit recovered, and we'll have late decisions also with our wingers. It's good that we have quality and we have the choices with other situations during this season, also last season. So I'm quite pleased that all of them are back. Obviously, Largi will need a while till he's really a topic for the starting lineup, but each and every day back in training is beneficial for him, and he's also an option for a few minutes at least. And yes, it's a good situation.
There's a couple of things that we didn't ask you about yesterday after the game. One of them was there was an incident where Dan James should be going through clean on goal, and Harry Darling takes him out, doesn't even get a yellow card. My first reaction, watching it as a commentator, was that is a red card offence. I couldn't understand why there was no card, and how did you see it, and what do you feel about the standard of refereeing? Are they applying the laws in the way that you would expect them to?
I asked Oliver Langford, the fourth official, the same question. I asked him in the beginning, surely it has to be a red card, because it's more or less like if DJ takes the ball, he's 1-against-1 on the goalkeeper. It was 100% a red card for me. But then he blows the whistle and was talking a little bit, and we played further on with a free kick even without a yellow card. And that was my next question. I think it was, yes, you could argue it's perhaps just a yellow card, but for me it was more closer to a red card, if I'm honest. But to give no card at all, was for me incredible. But what should I do? So I have to be careful. I think in this season it's even like with 3 yellow cards for a manager, you are suspended for a game. No cut-off date, so I have to be a bit careful. So for that, I just was able to ask the question, and that's it. Don't really have the answer, so can't really tell you why it was no card. Standard of refereeing, I try to give their best and want to be there with their best possible performances. Yes, we are all human beings, and sometimes they're also there with the wrong performance, with the wrong decision anyhow, but it's not up to me to judge it. Yeah, sometimes I was also unhappy also during this season, but it is what it is. So if I moan or try to be angry, then it won't influence it in a positive way. Obviously, I think they try to give their best and to improve from season to season. But I don't want to be the one who judge if they are successful in their effort.
In the end, they made 2 cracking decisions for much as the opposition wanted offside, they weren't. So in the key moments, things were right, and that's what you can ask for, I suppose, isn't it?
I'm not sure if their first goal was no offside, because I think if you check with VAR, Darling looks to be offside, and also the guy who blocks Joe Rodon because he influences a game, he's definitely offside. So I think with VAR, even this goal would be rolled out. But yes, it's a fact we have no VAR, and for that also no complaints. It was a tight decision and also difficult to see. I like also the decision making. We have this rule: in doubt, come on, but then we go for the attacker, because it's in the sense of the game. And I think also in this mood, especially the assistants had their decisions yesterday, and rightly so, and also some good decisions. Yes.
There was so much good attacking play, but just picking up on another point, there was a point towards the end of the game, just before they got the third, where there seemed to be a lot of crosses coming in from that left-hand side from Tyler. What had happened to your side at that point to allow that to happen more than it was happening before?
Yes, we dropped a bit too deep. There were, I think, a few reasons. First, quality of the opponents. Swansea is a good possession side, and when they chase a game, they can put pressure on you. So perhaps more than other teams, they've done this also in the past. That's one reason. Second is also like the first game after international break, when you just had them 2 days together, and it's really like an intense game. It could also be that you get a bit tired in the end, and then it's a bit natural behavior. Okay, you drop a little bit, and perhaps also a bit the story of the game that made us to be a bit careful. I would have preferred that we pressed a bit more like before, so also like high pressing, more pressure on the ball, but it was also a bit like we knew that in the beginning we were then also perhaps punished with the counter-attack for the free kick. Out of this they scored, then we were punished of loss of the ball with the counter-attack for the second goal, and perhaps the players had a bit in their head, okay, right now we drop a little bit. They also had a bit in their head. Normally Swansea is struggling a bit to create or to score goals against a deep-sitting opponent. Perhaps this was then a bit psychological point that we said to come on, we want to have everyone behind the ball, but we should have had more pressure on the ball. And I totally got the same feeling. We allowed too many crosses, and although we are normally really good in defending these crosses, when there are many bodies in the box, even out of coincidence, you can see the goal. Obviously, we should have defended the third goal a bit better, but it was also one of the reasons we didn't have enough pressure on the ball. And great cross, by the way. So Timon was a top class cross, but with more pressure on the ball, I think we could have avoided it. And actually, it was perhaps understandable and a bit of natural behavior of a human being after such a game, but was definitely not the best behavior. So I want my team to defend forward and to have more pressure on the ball, not to sit that deep.
After the game, you talked a lot about resilience mentality, and I think on the pitch you could see the way you celebrate the goals and the fact that you wanted to win that game and go top of the league and stuff. That doesn't happen by accident. How have you created that culture to get to a phase now where the dressing room seems really, really tight, Daniel? But it can't just be about the dressing room; it has to be elsewhere as well. What have you done to make that culture work like that?
Yes, first of all, I have to say I'm pretty fortunate because I've got great characters also in the dressing room. It's a joy to work with them, and it's not so difficult to lead this group. And also the same with the whole staff. They are high quality and top human beings, so it makes my life also easy. But I also try to not let the standards drop, and also try to aim for the highest target. So our standard is always like, yes, we won 90 points last season, but we were not happy because we didn't finish in the top two. So we know right now we're on a really good spell, but even after such a game, we also speak about things that were not perfect. For example, the defending in the 90th minute, or the defending in added time in the first half. So I try to make sure that we don't let the standards drop, even in small details. And if you do this and always speak about this, and hopefully, finally, the players develop also like a winning mentality that sky's the limit. And even if they are there with a win, it's not like, okay, we are happy. We also speak about the things that were not that great. And this is also how we try to approach it. And thank God I've got a really good group who tries to have this feeling. And also yesterday we spoke about that we need this resilience, because I think Swansea at least under their current management, once they went in lead, they have never lost a game. And we knew it would be difficult if you're back and against them. But yesterday, and of course, we spoke also about this before the game, but we also made aware, listen, if something happens and there is a deflected strike or a mistake of the referee anyhow, football, everything can happen, but we keep going. Then we are the first team who turned the game against Swansea, and we spoke even beforehand about this. So the players were prepared that there is perhaps also something not going in our direction, but we still have the tools in order to turn the game and the belief in ourselves. And the more often you are also successful in this, then you also build a natural confidence and a natural feeling. No problem. Even if it's tough, we can even score in added time, and we've scored already a few late goals right now this season, and then it becomes a bit like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we're trying to work on this, and it becomes more like a natural manner to score these late goals. And yes, thank God the lads deliver at the moment, and hopefully we can going in this way.
You're up against Luton on Wednesday night. Talking about culture, their managing director said they've sat down in the international break, having had a really horrible run. I know they've just beaten Hull, and they've really addressed everything, looked at each other, and they felt that the culture from within was what was attacking them, not from the outside. So they've redressed everything. They've won at the weekend. Are you expecting a very different Luton to the one now than you saw before the international break?
Yes, because for me, they are one of the contenders for the top 6. There is no doubt about this. They played last season in the Premier League, and I've experienced this that often. So quite often for a team who is relegated, it's difficult to avoid a hangover in the Championship. I think it was credit to Southampton less than us last season that we were there with so many points and also at least a solid start into the season. But quite often it happens that you're struggling. Also, like even on the wrong end of the table, also a bit unlucky. Then lots of fluctuations with incomings, with outgoings, and this of course affects then also the lads. So this was also my experience also with Norwich once we went down. It was so difficult to get everyone back on track, and thank God we managed to do this and won the title then in the league in this year again. But it's so difficult, and it's also sometimes you have to accept a poor start, but they still have lots of quality. They have lots of physicality in their team. They have a manager who has done and worked miracles for them also the years before, and so I think they have a pretty tight group. And it's always important then to be honest. And then you could also tell in the last game, pretty important win, clean sheet win. So for me, that's a dangerous side. It's also a team who I expect come next May that they have a chance also to finish in the top 6. So for me, it's a really good team, and for that we also go into this game pretty respectful. They had one more day of recovery. It makes a difference on such a quick turnaround, and they played last season Premier League also with many players involved. They have many players with Premier League experience in their group, and for that. Also in this away game, there's probably one of the games away at Elland Road where this side doesn't have the burden to be the favorite in the game. They have nothing to lose. They can play perhaps even with a bit more freedom, especially after an important win for them. So, and I expect a team after 16 game days right now with a team after 46 games. Obviously, if you have a look on what we've done in the summer, we've earned an unbelievable amount of money with the sale of many important players for us, like Archie Gray, like Chris Summerville, George Rutter, Glenn Kamara. Anyhow, we didn't spend that much money, so you could perhaps argue that in terms of individual quality, we lost a bit of quality, and the players we brought in, with all respect, I know they are celebrated right now, but before. No one really heard of Ao Tanaka, for example. It was like, Ao who? Where did he play? Oh, second tier in Germany. 25 years old. Has he played on the top level before? No. It's not that expensive. Probably not the quality we need. And yeah, so a bit the same with, heard some criticism of Joe Roswell. Southampton played with 3 midfielders. He was never more or less in the starting lineup, so not to be good enough to be one of the 3 starting midfielders for Southampton. They finished behind us on the table. How should he be good enough for us? He's proving his worth at the moment, and more or less the same. Laji Ramazani, winger. No one really. Yeah, we knew it from the youth level here in in England, but no English club ever wanted him. He was just relegated in Spain. Also, like his second half of the last season, he was suspended with red cards and also yellow cards and yellow red cards, and no one really believed in his quality. And yeah, we made out of him already a really good player. So it looks like with really some bargains, we are trying to build a really strong team. And at the moment, yeah, we're probably better in all statistics than the team last season was. So in terms of points tally, in terms of created chances against us, scored goals, expected goals against us. So we're dominating each of these statistic. But I also would say careful. Yeah, it's just game day 16. I'm a friend of to speak about quality when my definition of quality is if you deliver over a long-term period. And for me, 10, 15 games are never a long-term period. So the signs are good. We are on a good path. There is no doubt about this. But for me, you just can't speak about a quality player and a quality team after a season. And we are on a mission to prove that we are a really good team and that we can create something special. But we have to keep going. So far, so good, I would say. And the signs are good and we're on a good path, but there is no space for complacency, and I won't allow any complacency. There are really good sides outside when I think about the quality of the side, also the quality of the league. When a team like Luton is more or less struggling in the wrong end of the table, this tells you a lot of the quality of the league. So we are fighting against many quality sides, and for that we have to be on it in each of the game in order to be allowed then after a long season to label us also a quality team, and then we can speak about comparisons. I think after 16 games it would be not the right point to do this, and it would be overconfident and would be completely the wrong sign to do this.
Just ask you about the forward options and in particular Joe Gelhardt. We've not seen him for a bit. I know I think you said he had a hip injury. Was that right? How is he at the moment? And what does the future look like, do you think, for Joe? Because obviously you've got a lot of attacking options, as you talked about. You know, in
the last weeks. He has played obviously also for us and for this club a bit more like a winger who comes inside. Yeah, on the winger positions we have Daniel James, we have Manu Solomon, we have Laji Ramazani and Willy Gnonto, and he has also played a bit like a striker, or a bit like a loose striker. We have there at the moment Joel Perot, who has scored many goals. We've got Matteo Joseph. We must not forget Patrick Bamford right now. Also lots of quality and a crucial player. And thank God right now he's on his way to stay fit and to gain his fitness back also in training. And I can't always take four more or less strikers with us for that. It's tough for him, but I have to praise him for his attitude and his workload in training, also his performances. So we also need this anyhow. So, and he has to make sure that he prepares himself for the moment when the chance will come. Sometimes there is a chance out of injuries, illnesses, bookings, or perhaps when a player has perhaps a bit poorer period and is not delivering, then his time will come. He has to prepare himself in order to be then ready when his chance comes, and then try to grab this really with both hands. I know it's tough for him at the moment, but I can't complain about anything. So he's a really top class human being, top class teammate, and also real quality player. We just have lots of options. This is professional football, and he has to keep going.
Definitely, thanks for that. And just lastly, obviously mentioned the injuries, no new injuries as such, but anybody coming back? I'm thinking in particular Isaac Schmid. Where's he at the moment in terms of his recovery? Is he sort of like an option, or is he back or anything yet? Or?
No, not a topic for Wednesday. He was integrated today in parts of the team training, and will do this the same. So then back to full team training, hopefully from Thursday on, and then he become a topic. But for this game, no chance to come back.
All right, thanks, Daniel.
Good, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good.